You are now listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Relax your anus. Balls. Thick thighs. Camille Shat. Where's his neck? Eddie Jones. You're fucked, mate. We're nice now.
We are recording.
Welcome back to me, just to me, not to you. Why are you looking at me like that? I'll just talk about rugby then, shall I? Hello, welcome to my show. I played rugby.
That's it?
Years. Yeah, that's it, yeah.
You don't
That's
have
all I am
anything to
without
say.
you. That's all I am without you.
You don't have anything to say.
Welcome back to me. I said it twice now. Feels good.
Nothing about, abandoning the podcast or anything.
No regrets. I had a
Nothing?
great time. No.
I'm not looking for anything much here. But I think you should give a public apology and say something along the lines, not too much, nothing too drastic, that, hi, Frank, I'm sorry for abandoning the podcast. I would rather die than abandon the podcast again. I'd rather have my whole family die
Jesus.
than abandon the podcast. Just something.
Ironically, I went home to see my family, so
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to say that. What should I say? I had a great time. I went to the rugby homeland. I came back with knowledge for you to share. It was research.
How much rugby did you go and watch?
None in a stadium.
I couldn't believe that.
I
I
watched
can't
lots of
believe you were
TV
in the
rugby.
area.
Mm,
You could have saw DuPont play live,
I could have.
and you
I
decided
Genuinely could
to
have.
just skip it.
No, I watched it with my dad in our house. It was class.
You're like, it's my grandma's 94th birthday.
It was. Yeah, she was
She
there.
would have wanted you to be there.
She wanted me to drink beer with her. She had 2 Peronis. She's 94. She had a great time. Yeah.
I was so jealous of you.
Yeah, I can tell.
I was like, yeah, it was driving me nuts.
I brought you back a hat, though.
I did. It's a nice hat.
Yeah. Tasteful.
It's my new favorite hat right now.
Yeah, I didn't want to buy you a Dragons jersey because you can't buy one. You can't buy Dragons jerseys.
What?
Well, you can't buy them in any rugby store because I guess they've got a different producer. So you have to go to Rodney Parade in Newport to get a Dragons jersey or buy it off the internet. But it's a joke.
That was like in 2019 with the Welsh jerseys,
Yeah.
because they were who was it? With,
Yeah, they went from
with Reebok?
Under Armour.
Under Armour.
Yeah.
So you couldn't buy any of their jerseys anywhere.
No, they all these sports manufacturers. They're pretty exclusive to the stores. But so many of them. A lot of the Welsh guys do Macron now, which I think is a French company.
Actually, the total in the both World Cups I went to, the whole being able to spend money on rugby merchandise is
Yeah.
pretty poor.
It surprises me when every time you've told me that. It's like, why is there not more jerseys? Like you would come money
Yeah.
if you fucking just stocked up on jerseys.
It was driving me nuts too, because my girlfriend was like, "Well, that's just how it is, I'm like, "No, it's like the World Cup. Like they should have 4 years to prepare to have enough
Yeah.
stuff here."
Yeah, because it'd sell as well.
Yeah,
it would sell.
The only thing you could buy is "I cheer for South Africa" shirt. Like, who wants to buy that shit? Like, I want jerseys.
Yeah.
You can't even buy, which I'm surprised too, is you can't buy in the stores game jerseys. You can only buy these supporter or fan jerseys.
in
In
the World Cup.
at the World
Yeah,
Cup. Even
yeah.
in the rugby stores I went to,
Yeah,
you couldn't find outside that you couldn't find actual game jerseys with the grip on them and stuff.
yeah.
That's I was like,
I think they're expensive to make. That's probably why.
they're probably expensive to sell.
Yeah, no, they are. When I went to the WRU store right outside the stadium, and it was the end of the season sale, right? So they had everything. They had game jerseys, but they only had the 4XL sizes or whatever was left.
Oh yeah.
They had basically everything, but I think for every nation, you can probably only buy it in the official rugby union stores of that union. But there was a bunch of other jersey stores, and people are really into training jerseys right now. I saw so much training shit for sale, and it looks good, and you can wear it casually. Like you wear this polo shirt, like a Cardiff rugby polo shirt to work. It's this black. It's not too flashy. So I think people are more into rugby fashion than dressing as role playing as a rugby player these days. Because living in Edmonton, I find it weird that people wear the name of the guy on the back of the jersey. And they do that in football in the UK as well. But I've always found it weird. It's like, are you cheering for that specific player? Like, aren't you cheering for the fucking team? Like, so
some players get a cut.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be
part
why.
of their contract. They'll get a cut of jerseys sold with their names on them.
Oh, maybe that's why. Because it doesn't seem like weird and childish if you have the name of a player on the back. It's like, you're not that guy.
I kind of grew up.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not talking to the right guy about it, am I?
Yeah. Maybe rugby could use a little bit like that. You know what? It was kind of helpful watching some of the games on the weekend.
Yeah.
Wondering, who's that guy? And then his name was on the back of the
I've
jersey.
got no problem with that. I actually really like that change. Actually, when you can see the name on the back of the jersey, especially in some teams where everyone has the same haircut. Ireland, you know? So it's helpful.
Yeah. So you should just get a jersey with someone's if you had to buy a Welsh jersey.
If I had to.
Yeah. Whose name would you get on it?
Current player.
Mason
Grady. I'd have Mason Grady.
Mason Grady.
I love Mason Grady.
Wouldn't get.
Who would you get?
I'd get Fayeable Boso.
Son of a bitch. I'd get Louis Rees-Zammit.
Right on the back of a Welsh jersey.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, I'm gonna buy a Kansas City jersey with Louis Rees-Zammit name on it.
You just want to hurt me, don't you?
Yeah.
Because I abandoned you. I'm back now. Relax.
I'm back.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I'm sore. So my neck's sore. My spine is hurting.
Yeah.
And
you put in a good half an hour of prop in yesterday, didn't you?
No, I put in half a game.
Yeah, you did actually. Yeah.
More than I wanted to. I wanted 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I wanted 20 minutes, but we had that 54-year-old guy playing the whole game.
Oh, the lock?
No, they're our hooker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he played like the whole game.
Yeah, he's a warrior.
So I was like, I should probably get back out there.
Yeah, no,
right?
He's a proper warrior. That's why I made him the captain.
He's a rough dude.
I went up to him and I was like, "You're captain today," and he looked at me and goes, "Thanks, coach." And I was like, "Don't call me coach. Like I'm half your age and you know far more about this game than I do." Like,
he was a good guy.
I like him a lot. Yeah,
that was actually a pretty fun game.
It looked fun. I was
what
really
was
jealous.
perfect? The weather was perfect.
Yeah.
That was good. Cool, rainy weather.
But not too much rain, so it's like knock-ons every play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love playing in that kind of weather.
That's how I grew up. Like playing, when I moved to Alberta, and we played a game a couple of seasons ago against one of the teams, and it was 35 degrees, and I was like, this is not where the humans should play rugby in. Like 80 minutes of grinding misery, and the field was dry. That's probably how South Africans are such hard bastards, isn't it? Like, because they have to play in that shit.
And a lot of people, when they come here, they don't realize, like, it gets fucking hot here.
It does.
In the summer, and at the height of the summer,
it
doesn't get hot for long.
No.
But when it gets hot here. It's a little bit unbearable.
To be honest,
and
coming
it's
from the UK,
hot.
like even from May, it's hotter than the UK is. Just about. And then June, July, August, they are hot months, like plus 30 a lot of days, right? So if you're coming from other places in the Northern Hemisphere, people don't imagine Canada as a hot country.
Yeah, there's nothing more grueling than like playing in plus 30 weather.
It's miserable. So yeah, when I was watching you guys play, I was getting some FOMO because I was like, this is perfect rugby conditions because you get that nice breeze and you're not too hot. Like, yeah.
The only thing I was let down about yesterday is, so for the last month, I was like, okay, I'm going to come in this season in shape.
Yeah.
So the last month I've been every day, I haven't taken any days off. I've been doing this like heart rate training.
The HIIT training.
It's not HIIT training. It's like there is some HIIT training in it.
Yeah.
I have like a whole thing where you do some HIIT training, but the majority of it is you spend like 45 minutes to an hour and you have to keep your heart rate at a certain level.
Yeah.
It's called like zone 2 training and stuff like that. And you have to find like your 70%, between 80% of your maximum heart rate.
Yeah.
And you train in that zone for about somewhere between half an hour to an hour, probably about 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So I was doing about 3 to 4 times a week. And then you do some heart HIIT training for that.
Yeah.
So I've been rocking that all month.
Yeah.
Like every day, dedicated, taking notes and stuff like that. So I was excited to play yesterday.
We even said Steve looks in shape.
Yeah.
We were admiring your calves.
And I got out there, I did that sick jackal.
Yeah, you did.
Did a couple tackles.
Yeah.
So about 3 minutes of play.
Yeah.
Completely dead.
It's always the way, in it.
I was struggling.
Yeah.
I had to put my hands on my knees.
Yeah.
I could not fucking
There's
move.
no way to prepare.
I was completely gassed and drained within like 5 or 10 minutes of playing. And I was like, fuck, like what the fuck is this?
The adrenaline doesn't help either. It knocks the wind
so
out of
let
you.
down. It took like a long time for me to get, I couldn't even like, I couldn't. At one point, I was like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god. I was like, what the fuck? I've been all doing this training. I was so pumped.
Yeah.
I was ready.
Yeah.
Like I'm strong because I've been coming in the last few seasons strong, but
not fit.
Not fit.
Yeah.
Right. So when it comes to scrum time, I'm fine. But when it comes to like
else.
anything else, I'm
Yeah.
just completely fucking dead.
You weren't alone though. Half the team looked gassed.
Yeah.
So
So I was like, ugh.
don't
But
worry about it.
anyways,
that's the way it goes. You'll be ready.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, you'll be ready next game.
That's what I'm gonna try to do.
You're the bomb squad this season anyway.
Bomb
You
squad.
got to come in and defuse situations. We should talk about rugby that's popular in the world, shouldn't we?
They want to hear about my year league games.
They were fun. But
Where do you want to start?
I want to start at the Champions Cup final
You want to go back in time?
because since I abandoned you forever, we didn't get a chance to talk about it. And probably one of the best, not the best games of rugby I've ever seen, but most engaging because of the extra time and Frawley missing that drop goal to extend the game. Like there was just so many moments it was such a pendulum swing sort of game.
This game for me, watching it, was really, you had the best of the best.
Yeah, it did.
On one pitch,
Yeah.
playing each other. And yeah, it was like, I love chess match rugby. And that's exactly what we got.
Yes, it was.
Like even like I thought Leinster did a good job of like handling DuPont, even though DuPont is
Still had the game of his life, but
what's that
right.
rule where you have to kick the 10-22 or the 22
50-22.
50-22? Like he does
Yeah.
2 of those in a game.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, he
It's
is
insane. Yeah.
It's really hard to like not say he's the best player
I think it's easy to say that.
pound for
I
pound.
think it's easy because I was of this opinion, and I probably said this when we've been recording before, that Aaron Smith is the best 9, DuPont is the best player, and it's like no, DuPont is the best 9 and the best player in the world. Like
He could do anything.
it's not even close.
I bet you anything he could be a prop.
Yeah.
And he'd be the best prop in the world.
I wouldn't be surprised. He could definitely be a jackler.
Yeah.
Could definitely a 6 or a 7. We saw
yeah,
that.
he was turning balls.
Most
over.
turnovers, I think.
Fuck, he's just
He's unreal, isn't he?
Insane good. What a talent.
Yeah, once in a generation. And he hasn't had too many injuries. I know he's relatively young, but like
I think he's like 26 or 27.
well, I think that's relatively young for he's still got probably 2 or 3 years of like prime rugby in him.
Yeah. I wonder how many World Cups he has.
At least another one.
Well, he'll definitely be going to Australia if he doesn't get injured.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he'll go to America.
He's got this. He seems to have this thing where he wants to do other things, right? It's like, no, I've decided to take a break from rugby to focus on my carpentry, and then he's like the world champion carpenter in France or something, and he's winning awards.
He's
and you're like,
one of those guys.
Yeah, he's just like, no, I've decided to focus on my anime drawings. Like,
I always wanted to play baseball.
and he's just amazing at it. Like,
Like Michael Jordan or some shit. Like, I'm gonna try baseball out.
Yeah, yeah.
You know how those those athletes like
But
try
he-
to do other things.
he sucked at baseball, didn't he, Michael Jordan? DuPont would be amazing at baseball.
Yeah, DuPont would probably could. He probably could do anything. I don't think there's anything he couldn't do. He could
No.
probably like solve some world crisis. Like he can like
Yeah.
solve world hunger.
I don't think he would be good. He seems really shy and a bit softly spoken. I just don't think, I can't see him being in a bar and then like there's a bunch of girls and he's going up to him being like, hey ladies, I'm 200 pounds, no big deal, you know? I think he'd be too shy.
He's also short too.
I don't think that's a problem though, like because he's got,
Like right now, he's probably just the ladies are like, oh, 200 pounds.
yeah.
We love you.
I don't think he's got the killer instinct to chat up ladies in a bar.
I bet you he does.
Maybe I'm grasping at straws. I'm
bet
trying to think of anything
he's
that
like
could
an
do badly.
aura. I think he comes off as more of an aura guy.
Yeah, he doesn't need to say a lot.
Doesn't
They
need
come
say a
to
lot.
him.
Yeah,
You're right.
He has the aura.
He does.
Yeah. So he walks into a place and people
Yeah.
are just naturally gravitating towards him
And he's
because
just
of
sitting
his
there in the back.
energy, his power that he's
Yeah.
like.
All his
excel.
boys are like desperately trying to chat up girls, and he's sat there with a glass of champagne just in a booth, and then like just people come to him. He doesn't need to do anything.
Him and Nantimac just sitting in the corner.
Oh, the coolest two guys.
They
in
are
the
the
room.
two coolest.
Oh,
They would be so cool.
The coolest halfback pairing in world rugby.
I wouldn't approach them if I saw them in public.
No, I wouldn't want to stain them with my weirdness. I would
Yeah.
want to stain their charisma.
Steal some of their energy. You don't want to do that.
Anyway, Champions Cup final.
Yeah, we just got totally off on
Like,
That's how. See,
I had
that's
a
his
boner
aura.
now.
He just
Yeah.
like stole us.
He pulled us in. He's not even here.
Yeah, he's not even here, and he's fucking
pulled
just
us
got
in.
lost in him.
Yeah, in his eyes.
What else do you want to say?
I
about
want to
that
say
game?
something mean about this game. I wanted to say that Ross Byrne, for me,
Fuck Rossburn.
I know I feel bad for the guy, but he is the weak link. And I think had they put Frawley at 10, that might have been a different game. So, yeah. Frawley has that dynamism. He's got that line breakiness, and he's still a decent game manager.
That's what Leinster were missing in this game. They're missing some like creative flair.
They screwed up a lot. They dominated early part of the game, and they missed a lot of chances to take points.
They made a lot of mistakes, and their discipline really fucked them. Like in the overtime when they had to go to overtime.
Yeah, but everyone was knackered, weren't they?
Like Caelan Doris, the fucking like the captain of the team.
Hands in the ruck right at the end.
He took the shittiest fucking penalty.
He did.
Pissed me off so much.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
did.
Why?
He's just knackered.
Did you want to lose?
No, he's just knackered. He couldn't do anything about it.
I was like, man.
Yeah, that's like 100 minutes of rugby. That's insane. At that intensity, you're going to make a mistake at some point, right?
But that was like a mental, like, I don't have to do this.
It was a
kind of
proper
thing.
brain fart.
Yeah.
But, you know, it happens.
There was a lot of things. They did, I can't remember now because it's been so long, like since I watched the game, but there was a fucking lot of mistakes by Leinster. They just they literally kept Toulouse in the game.
I do think Toulouse forced some of those mistakes, and I do think we're so used to seeing such a clinical Leinster when they play or are forced to play like a normal team because they're against someone they're equal. They're made to look a bit average.
Because they would take 2 steps forward and then 3 steps back all the time.
I don't think that's the problem. I don't want to get into like this was Leinster losing rather than Toulouse winning, because Toulouse won that game, right? I'm not taking anything away from them. Kind of felt like that England-Ireland game for me. No, because I think Ireland lost that.
Leinster, like...
No, that's what I'm trying to avoid, because I think that England-Ireland game, the Six Nations, Ireland did lose that. As much as England played fantastically, but this game, Toulouse won that game. Not Ireland lost, not Leinster lost.
There was just so many shitty mistakes.
But I think that's what I'm saying. I think Toulouse forced that, you know? They're not used to being put under that pressure.
Oh, I totally agree with that too. Like the tons of pressure from them. But I don't know. I thought these teams looked... I was surprised. I actually thought that Leinster would lose.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I thought Leinster would lose this game, and but they surprised me with just how everything just looks really equal on the field.
It did, and it's that drop goal, man. It was that if that drop goal had gone through,
you're missing
Leinster win, right? It's a tiny moment, you know. It's a few inches to the right.
Fuck, who did that drop goal? That
Frawley.
was Frawley. Yeah, because he attempted 2.
He did. Yeah,
and missed 2.
Yeah, and like those pay off.
That could be the reason why, you know.
Yeah, maybe Ross Byrne would have gone.
Didn't put him there.
Yeah,
right. Because Ross Byrne, like he did actually miss some kicks too, and there was some points in the games too, from what I can remember too, is where Ireland turned down points.
Ireland, yeah.
They
did have 14.
Leinster,
it was basically Ireland, though, wasn't it?
Leinster turned down points.
Yeah.
Too. Which they could have just taken, especially in such a tight game. And I think take what you can get.
Yeah.
So they got a little,
which was weird for them because they're usually very good at game management. But I think Toulouse, not that Leinster aren't used to knockout rugby, but Toulouse played like a team who know how to do knockout rugby. Take the points every single time, right?
Do you think the Irish have like a big game, like an issue with?
No,
big games,
I don't think so
moments?
at all. I don't think so at all.
Like when it comes down to it. When it comes down to the game that they need to win, they like choke.
No, I don't think that at all. Because they've won enough big games that not at all. I think they have in the World Cup cycle, I do think they have a problem with rotating players effectively, because South Africa lost to Ireland and then knew how to rotate. Ireland played the same starting lineup basically for every single game, and they looked tired.
Do you think
by the end.
South Africa knows how to rotate?
Or do they just have the talent?
Yeah, they have the talent, and
maybe
they keep the same team, relatively
speaking, but they know how to rotate effectively, right? I think. Anyway, we're talking about Champions Cup. I'm not saying I'm not wrong. I could well be wrong there, but I think let's talk about the URC playoffs.
Yeah, let's talk about the URC playoffs.
First round is done.
Were you surprised by the Munster?
Not surprised. No.
Did it make you sad?
No, I'm not. Like I keep telling you, I'm not an Ospreys fan.
I thought you are. You were telling me just like an hour ago.
No.
How they were your team when you grew up, when you were a little lad.
Not said that ever.
Were they even around? No. What time did they? What year did they come into the?
When was the Pro 12 formed? It was called the Celtic League back then. Was it 2002 or 2003? I think they were formed.
Because there were some other Welsh teams.
There was
in
a
it.
fifth Welsh team called the Celtic Warriors.
Yes.
And they were based in Pontypridd, just in the North Valleys. And they basically had a lot of the Welsh squad, and they were good. And then they were collapsed because of some money guy decided, no, fuck off. Anyway, I think Ospreys are. They were just happy to be there, you know.
We're here.
Yay! You know. So
Munster looked deadly too.
Munster looked. What's the word I would use? Competent. They didn't look like world beaters. They just did exactly what they needed to do. They controlled the game really professionally in that second half.
I think getting players healthy and getting those players healthy because they've had a lot. They're still missing quite a few players too, especially in their forward pack.
They are,
because now Tom Ahern is injured. Jean Klein's out forever.
But they've got two of the best locks in the world ready for a semi-final now.
Yeah, Tygburn
and Snyman. Can't ask for much more better than that, can you really?
Yeah,
so it's for all their injuries, they've absolutely got the players to win. I look at the Ospreys, and they had Dewi Lake and Jack Morgan back, but not having Dan Edwards as their 10, who's played for them. They had their third choice 10, and Owen Williams really disappointed me in that game. Like, he just could not. He made all the wrong decisions when Ospreys had good territory and possession. Not that I think Ospreys would have won that game. I think Munster did enough without, the Ospreys' first 10 there. Ospreys' first try was a proper worldie. It was class, and I thought, okay, we've got a game here. And then Munster just did what they needed to do. They played in the right areas of their field. So it was clinical.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about it, really.
And Jack Crowley, he keeps getting better and better.
He does. Yeah, he's very good.
He is.
Yeah, he's very good.
Becoming something special.
He doesn't look like a kid anymore, does he?
No.
He looks like a game manager, which is great.
He looks like Johnny Sexton out there.
He's prettier as well.
He's better looking. He has shoulders.
He does have shoulders.
His face is more proportional too.
Exactly. So he's one for the future.
They made him in a lab.
Yeah.
Johnny Sexton was the kind of he's good, but he was kind of like the mess
prototype.
He didn't come out of the goo, quite right.
When Jack Crowley comes out and they're like, look at that boy.
Perfect. That's what we wanted.
That's the recipe, boys. Write it down. Yeah.
When we get into the predictions for next week, but Munster, to me right now, they look like the team.
Glasgow really impressed me beating the Stormers. Because I've been talking them down. I've been saying there's no way Glasgow beat the big teams on the day. But they did make... Stormers had a bit of a shocker, but Glasgow were dominant. So I'm going to say... No, actually, I don't want to say anything just yet because...
We'll wait to that point.
Yeah, we will. We will predict anyway, won't we? But tell me about Ulster-Leinster.
Ulster-Leinster. This is I was kind of half watching this game because I had to leave for my game.
Yeah.
But Ulster just...
They just didn't... Yeah.
When you put Leinster's A guys out there,
yeah,
they're literally.
It takes a Toulouse to beat you, doesn't it?
It takes a Toulouse to beat them.
Yeah,
and they just slowly kept leaking points, pressures on, leaking.
Yeah, Ulster have been like Connacht and Cardiff this year though, where they can score points, they can play attractive rugby, but they just do not know how to manage a game or keep the other team out of their try zone,
I want to say this about Ulster, though, okay? This is what I want to say about Ulster. From where they started to where they ended up, I would call this a successful season.
It is a successful season. Yeah,
it
is. And the thing is, a couple of years ago, we were talking about them as championship winners, right?
You were expecting them to... I always expect them to be a good team.
Exactly.
A decent team. I think actually the letdown team of the Irish, Connacht's the team that should be, they're the letdown team this season. They on paper, I think they should be better than they are.
Yeah.
They didn't have a ton of injuries. I think
Matt Hansen's a big loss.
Matt Hansen's a big loss, but he's one player.
Yeah, and he's a winger.
He's not a DuPont.
Game-changing players, are they?
No, they're the lowest paid players in rugby.
Yeah.
You don't even need them.
No.
You don't need a winger. But they're the letdowns. Also, I would say after this season, they had a successful season.
Yeah.
From coming from where they were
to
where they are now, I'd be happy if I was an Ulster fan because they were looking dire.
You don't want to patronize, but I think Ospreys, Ulster and Benetton to make the playoffs is a big achievement because they have not got the same resources as the other teams up there.
Ulster, Benetton, who was the other one you said?
Ospreys,
yeah, 100%.
And Benetton being where they are is class. But let's talk about
Benetton Bulls.
Yeah, tell me about that.
I actually kept switching back to this game because it was on at the same time as the Prem final.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, Benetton's playing really well. I really wanted them to take this.
They scored a sexy try as well.
But Bulls are a strong
they're
team.
fucking massive, aren't they? Some mutants in that team.
They are a really strong, good team.
Mm-hmm.
And so Benetton just didn't. I think that came to it for a depth thing.
Yeah.
They
100%.
Bulls got it. They have the bench. They had everything.
Yeah. They always looked comfortable despite it being a close game, didn't they? Mm-hmm. They always knew they could outmuscle Benetton at some point. So
I really rate the Bulls really high too. I think they're one of the best. I'm gonna say this. You're gonna like this. I think they're one of the best, like at least top 5 in Europe. I knew you were gonna laugh when I said that.
My heart. No, you're right. You're totally right.
I'd put them in the upper echelons of teams.
Yeah. But the thing is, people don't know that. They're not spoken about because they haven't achieved anything in the European capacity yet.
No.
But they will. They will.
Because who won the last
Last
was it
time
the Stormers? Stormers won the...
They were the first South African team to win it, but last year it was Munster. The year before that it was Stormers.
Yeah.
And the year before that it was Benetton.
Yeah.
The Rainbow
Cup.
Yeah.
So I really rate these. Like this team is like if they would have like kept going in the Champions Cup instead of giving up on it.
Yeah.
I thought they could have won it too.
They could.
That would have been a good game against.
I think they're being investigated for fielding a team of children right now, though. So
yeah, you got to investigate those motherfuckers. But that was my opinions of the game. Just a depth thing with Benetton.
It's a resources thing, right?
I really wanted Benetton to like really get out there.
This is like you said though. It's a successful season. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of.
No,
and they're getting better. And they've got a really good crop of young Italian players now, like homegrown boys. The homegrown vegetables in the stew, and it's healthy and wholesome. They're good to go. Glasgow doing it on the Stormers. Just proving me wrong. I kind of felt this. I kind of felt this game coming when it was like really? At home. Yeah, it just those South Africans don't like travel. No, they're like cask ale. You can't take them 10 towns over, can you? Yeah, it's becoming kind of an evident thing in this. Even when it comes to like knockout games, they just are like, yeah, I don't want to do it. Like, yeah, Glasgow played like a perfect game too. They did. They played class. Yeah, you're right. Stormers did not play well. Is it Manny Lebok? I saw a lot of hate for him online after that game as well. Why? This is a game I didn't watch because I was actually missing kicks. Basically, he's just not a kicker. He's not a kicker, but he's so good at running the ball. Yeah. So I don't know why they haven't kicked him. Just find a different kicker. Like have him on the field. And just have someone else do bloody place kicking, you know what I mean? Like, it's not rocket science. Don't put the pressure on him. Exactly. He's a class player. There's no need to hate on him. Just fucking choose someone else on the team who's got a higher kick percentage. Not rocket scientists to me, you know? So that's a weird one. But yeah, like this is... I'm quite excited about the... is it the quarters or the semis now? Semis now, They were going into the semis. That's right. They don't do a last round of 16 because that would be the whole bloody league. Yeah, so we're going to the semis. I think Leinster, Munster, Bulls, and Glasgow is pretty good for a good reflection of the season. And I'm excited, and I don't have. It was pretty much what we've been talking about. I think so. The whole time. I don't think I had Glasgow. Oh, did I? I wish I'd written it down. Because we had. I definitely said Bulls, Munster, and Leinster. I think the final four we had Stormers, Bulls, Glasgow. No, we definitely had Leinster. We had Leinster. And Munster, I don't know Munster if we had Munster in there at the time because they had a pretty fucking rocky. They were pretty shocking at the start of the season, weren't they? Yeah. Yeah. So they were like they weren't. Yeah, because we were kind of questioning them. We were on where they were. Yeah, because they had a lot of injuries. But they kept turning it up. Yeah. They had a successful season already. If Munster lose next week, who have they got to play again? They're going to play Glasgow. Which I don't think they're going to lose, but I don't think they're going to lose. If they lose that game, is that Glasgow's home game? No, it'll be Munster's. They finished top of the league. Of course they did, yeah, yeah. Because Glasgow was sitting at the top for quite a while, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, so man, Glasgow even like out-scrummed the Stormers. They're a good all-round team, you know. I just don't. I've been saying, and I am happy to be proved wrong in that game that they just don't have the power game, but they look pretty fucking powerful against the Stormers, so. What the shit do I know? But yeah, we want to talk about Gallagher Premiership final? Yeah, let's talk about the drama of the Gallagher Premiership final. I watched the second half before I left the house. Re-glued to the TV. Yeah, because Bath, even with a man down, were playing out their bloody skin. Like, where the fuck did that come from?
Benabano just fucks that game over.
And he galvanized the whole squad. Yeah.
Like, Bath paid so much money. They paid so much money to get there. And then
They paid Finn Russell a lot of money.
There's been a lot of chat. The reason why I brought that up because there's been a lot of like chat with like the fans online and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
about how like Northampton kind of developed their guys,
they did,
and Bath just paid for it.
Yeah. Well, the Bath squad is relatively similar to the last few seasons, but they made one or two huge signings. Obviously, the big one being Finn Russell,
Johan van Graan too.
Yeah, exactly.
Taking him from Munster.
Yeah. So, like, they haven't changed too much, but it does feel like they're trying to buy a championship. You know.
I kind of forgot at one point that Bath had a red card.
That's how well they were playing.
I forgot at one point that they were down a man.
Yeah. And a front rower as well, which is a big deal in a knockout game, not in a final.
One of the best props in the Prem.
I think so.
Like, to me, like he's one of the best.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he is. I mean,
Borthwick probably won't pick him because he's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
But he's been talked about in the England setup for a long time.
Well, he's been in it, too.
He has been in it. No, totally. But what I'm saying is he doesn't get the recognition a lot of people think he deserves. Weird thing for me, that red card, yeah, it was a red, but I'm surprised he didn't just go, yellow, go look at the bunker. Why don't they do that every single time? For me, it's a no-brainer, right? Just give the yellow, bunker review, and they don't have to worry about it. Right, and there's no.
It was pretty like.
It was pretty obvious, but I just think even if he's like punched a man in the face, like just go bunker
always
review.
Send it to the bunker.
Always, because then you can focus on the game.
Yeah, you don't have to spend any time. Just like yellow, get off, and then just let the boys in the office take care of it.
Exactly. I love and they're going to be more objective, aren't they? Because they've got all the angles, they've got much more time.
Yeah.
Why not do that every single time?
That could have changed the game.
You pull a knife out and stab someone, I'd be like bunker review. You know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's what should have done because they could have actually maybe with a little more forensic, they just a little more black lights. They could have found some more semen,
semen on the pants, and
then realized that it was like, oh, you know what, this could be just a yellow.
Yeah. Because it was a red, but it wasn't the worst red I've ever seen.
Do you think this tarnishes Northampton's win a little bit?
No,
because if they wouldn't have got the red card, maybe Bath would have won. Because of how well they played with a man down. I actually
think two things. I think Bath played as well as they did because of the red card. Like I thought, okay, now we've got we're throwing the kitchen sink at this. And I think Northampton's season has been so good, nothing could have tarnished. If Bath had got 4 red cards and Northampton won, they deserved to win the Gallagher Premiership this season. They've been sitting nice at the top of that league for a long time.
You could tell the pressure was on Northampton a lot too because they were making a lot of random mistakes.
They were nervous, weren't they? Whereas Bath were like, fuck it, what we've got to lose. We're probably going to lose now. We may as well play our hearts out, which they were going to do anyway.
They conceded 13 penalties, Northampton.
Yeah, it's mad.
And they were lucky that Bath kind of matched them.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll stay in this with you.
Yeah, we're with you boys till the end. Northampton scored some class tries, though. Some real beauties. So they're still playing like the Northampton we've seen all season. I just love Northampton. I've just like totally fallen in love with the season.
Because it ended off in, I think it ended off with Bath knock-on. At the end. Because Ollie Lawrence went to go pass it to, who was it? Kakanasinga?
Yeah.
And he like knocked it on and out of bounds.
Right.
It was funny because Ollie Lawrence does that. He tries to do this offload and then Kakanasinga knocks it into, I think it's him, knocks it out of bounds, and the camera immediately switches over to Finn Russell. And he's just swearing and pissed. Like, fuck. Yeah, because they made all this work. And they did it twice. They knocked it on twice.
Yeah.
Right? And because they did it on the other side of the field too.
Yeah.
They like tried to like kick it and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, you guys are making some way here.
Yeah.
So, because Finn Russell wanted that bad.
He did.
Yeah, he wants to like this. Like silverware evades him, like he wants it so bad.
He's like a polarized magnet; it just flies away from him.
Yeah. And it's just he missed some kicks too.
Yeah,
I think
did he win anything at Racing? I
don't think he had. No, I would have to look it up.
He's just a fun-loving 10, though. He just rocks up. He's in his flip-flops. He's got like a little boombox on his shoulder. He's like, what's happening, boys?
Yeah, from his night out at the clubs.
Yeah, like he's just a fun-loving player.
Yeah, but you could see he was getting more and more frustrated, yelling at the guys. I wonder what his like, I wonder how the guys really feel about Finn Russell playing with them, because he's a very vocal. Like, you can see him out there yelling at the guys, pointing at them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, because I'm just watching. Like, if people are like, okay, yeah, Russell, okay, yeah, oh yeah, he knows his shit. Listen to him.
But he does know shit because he pulls off completely mad, insane, amazing rugby. So I think people respect him. Every 10 is bossy. If you're not a bossy 10, what the fuck are you doing? You know. I think maybe the problem is sometimes he gives this impression that he couldn't care. It's like, I'm just here to have fun, and that's good. You want people having fun. But then when he's like seconds away from winning a cup and someone knocks it on and he loses his cool, then it's like, you know, maybe people want to see more of that. They want to see a serious Finn Russell, you know?
Oh, there's just nothing worse than getting like all this territory.
Yeah.
And then for one of the guys to like make a bad decision, like throw a bad pass. Like, Ollie Lawrence should have held onto that ball.
Yeah.
And he should have just held on to it. He just kind of looked around and whipped it at, like, Cockney
Desperate.
and got desperate.
Yeah.
Knocked it on. And, like, it just, to all that work, I get pissed too.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean, these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
like,
but if he catches that ball, it's not a guaranteed score anyway, you know? Like, that's the way she goes.
because it's all you want. It's all I ask for is just for, like, a fucking, like, yeah, just, like, keep your hands up.
Yeah.
Keep your fucking hands up. Or maybe it wasn't him. I forget who fucking
I can't remember, to be honest.
They did that
I
thing.
can't remember.
There's probably someone listening to him who's like, fuck, it was
You
this guy and this
stupid
guy. You
idiots
stupid
claiming you're watching
fucking
rugby.
idiots.
You
What
know
are you
the
guys
hell
doing?
you're talking about? Shut your mouth.
That's how I imagine everyone who listens to our podcast thinks.
No, we're pretty good.
I think we're on the ball.
I mean, we make mistakes, but I think that the difference is we're honest about it. We're kind of idiots. You called Lawrence Delalio Lawrence Fettuccine one time or something weird.
I think I called him Lawrence Delalio.
That's his name.
Is it his name?
That's his name. Lawrence Delalio.
Fuck,
you said some other random Italian word.
Lawrence Delangio.
You were like Lawrence Fiat Punto.
He is Lawrence Donatello.
Donatello. I think it was something like that. But anyway, point is, at least we can laugh at ourselves. So if people don't like it, they can. If all three people don't like it, then whatever.
Fuck you.
Fuck right off. Okay, so that is all of the rugby that happened that I wanted to talk about.
That was all the rugby you wanted to talk about? You didn't have anything exciting to say about the fucking Prem final? How it made you feel inside?
What do you mean? I just said loads of shit about it. How Northampton are my favourite team ever, and I was crying when I said that, and you didn't even acknowledge it.
Are they your favorite team ever?
No, but...
I kind of was a little, like, I wanted Northampton to win this game, too.
Yeah, me too.
But I wasn't really emotionally invested in these two teams.
I was emotionally invested in Northampton. I was surprised Bath were in the final, actually. That's what was weird to me.
Like, Bath and Sale and Northampton are, like, these, like, really vanilla teams.
What are you on about?
Yeah, for me.
What are you on about?
I just don't have any. I just don't give a shit about them.
That's fair. You can not get, but like to say Northampton are a vanilla, they played some of the most attacking, beautiful rugby.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not saying that I'm wrong when I'm talking about this. Like, I am wrong. Like, they are not.
Yeah.
But there's just something like they don't really have like drama or stories behind them. There's no like,
what?
You know how like Exeter have like, you know, this young team and all this like drama, and they have a story behind them, right? And they're like overachieving, and Bristol, like, you know, being shitty and then coming back, and then like, you know, or just like making it back to the Prem and doing all this stuff. Like, they have these teams have like stories. Like, Saracens have a dynasty.
Yeah,
you know, they've been dominant for so long, and you know, so like if they were in the final, I'd care about like, oh, I want them to lose really bad, or you know, there's stuff like that. You know, and the Harlequins, they had that you know, their jerseys are really colorful.
You sound like a child.
You know, I just want like, Sale and like Bath are like the, I don't know, they're like
they're just like no image available face teams.
Yeah, that's what it is to me. Like, just don't like, they're just very like blah.
I agree to a point with Sale. I think they're a bit like, who cares? Yeah. I agree to a degree with Bath, and they kind of had their own banter years where they were just shit for so long. It's like, how the hell are you in a final? And you've bought the final with these players a bit. But with Northampton, I don't agree. They've got an amazing history. They've got Northampton rugby fans are there every fucking game. They've got a class following, and
they also have nice jerseys.
They like their jerseys, and to have Courtney Laws winning a final is a class story. To have basically the axis of England's 9 and 10 in Alex Mitchell and Finn Smith, I love that story. And George Furbank looking like a fighter pilot is class. So like they Northampton are class. But I kind of agree with Sale and Bath.
Courtney Laws winning like right before his retirement,
I love that.
to go off and play and.
Yeah, it's
pretty nice. He probably got up there at the post press conference.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not afraid to speak my mind. So
he was
ask
really
me anything.
tired as well, doesn't he?
What did you think? That was a good game. Okay, bye.
English rugby in the media is quite vanilla.
Such an oral maverick.
Yeah. But no, he did say something a bit controversial not long ago. We talked about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
but that was the exception
vanilla.
To the rule, wasn't it?
He's just like, yeah, I'm on the edge of
the cutting edge of the rugby drama.
He's like the most boring guy ever.
Sometimes Steve Borthwick annoys me a bit. How could you
the
say
least
that?
drama-ish guy.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to mention another thing. I want to mention Canada beating the Black Ferns in the women's rugby.
Yeah, I see you missed a lot of rugby.
I didn't miss it. I just wasn't physically present with you.
Yeah, to do the podcast.
I went to where rugby happens. You were sat here in buttfuck nowhere, like thinking, "Where's my rugby friend?" But yeah, Canada women's, man.
I don't think Canada has. Okay, first of all, the majority of Canada have no idea that such a huge accomplishment happened.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's like
big
so.
Deal.
That's the saddest part about the whole thing is that Canada has no. If you ask, I bet you anything, we go on the street right now, and we start asking around, no one's gonna know that happened. No one.
Isn't that sad?
Like I bet you anything, you ask the majority of rugby players if they knew about that here, and they wouldn't even know.
That's true. That's sad. I wouldn't say all of them, but yeah, like it'd be in the 60th percentile, wouldn't it?
It'd be in the majority. It'd be in the majority. They'd have no idea that they were even playing. And that they made this like super duper accomplishment.
I've been saying like since Scotland, Ireland, Wales went professional, Canada's days are numbered at the top of the food chain in women's rugby. But they keep surprising me. Like fair play, they're keeping up with it, and I just don't know how they do it.
The core they have are all professionals right now.
That's true, but
the core they have are all in professional setups.
But to not have a professional rugby team in Canada to keep them all together it surprises me they're able to maintain that quality and intensity. You know, I know women's rugby. I mean, obviously, I know I'm a women's coach here, women's team's coach here, so I know that the women's game is almost as big, if not slightly bigger than the men, because the men will go off and play Canadian football and hockey in university, whereas the women, they'll stick playing rugby, won't they? Like there's a high standard, which is class. But to not have a professional team that they can all glue them all together and then to maintain that quality and beat the fucking Black Ferns is amazing. You know,
like one of the girls on the Canadian team you coached for a while.
I did.
She was your Finn Russell.
She was. Yeah, no, she scored, I think, as well. Yeah, good for her.
So, first thing I want to say about that is like, that accomplishment was so huge.
Yeah.
And the response to it at home was just super underwhelming. Yeah. Like it should have been talked about everywhere because they never beaten the Black Ferns.
Yeah.
They finally got that out of the ring. I think they're ranked number 2 in the world.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
So like it was huge.
It's a big deal.
But Canada has some of the best players in the world. You know what? Actually, Sophie DeGood.
Yeah.
I think it's Sophie DeGoody or Sophie DeGood.
Yeah.
She is pound for pound the best rugby player in the world.
Yeah, I'd agree. And her kicking game is unreal.
Because she could literally, she can play in every single position.
She's very Antoine Dupont in that sense, isn't she? Yeah.
So like Antoine Dupont, like realistically, he can't move to prop and be the best prop in the world.
Yeah,
she could literally go to prop.
Yeah, she's big enough to play in any position on that field, isn't she? Yeah,
every single position.
Yeah, that's
she
true.
can play.
Yeah,
if she was a man, she'd easily be the highest paid rugby player in the world.
I agree. Yeah, and she's really humble and nice in interviews and stuff as well, and she talks a good talk. She's obviously a good leader.
She works her ass off all the time.
Yeah.
Like there was, I've seen videos of her like on vacation, and they're like at the family cottage or whatever, and then she's got a barbell set up outside and stuff like that, and she's training. Wow. While she's on, like she's on
a beach in Mexico doing press ups,
she's one of those people that are just on all the time. I don't know, she might not be the best person to hang out with because she's probably on all the time.
Yeah,
and she's just always. She seems like one of those only business type people.
Yeah.
Like we're at the bar.
Yeah, you can have one beer.
I'm just trying to. She's like writing notes about her training at the bar at someone's birthday party or something like that. Like it's like, okay, Sophie. Like
she's ruined several marriages because she's too professional. She can't let go.
But that's having like one of the best players in the world on our team. Like that really helps too. Like, all the team is just.
It's pretty star-studded, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Even the coach that the girls have too. Like he's just a guy from Quebec.
Just a guy from Quebec.
Just a guy.
Just a regular old Quebecois.
He literally kind of is.
Oh.
He was just a guy that played a little bit of rec rugby.
Yeah.
in Quebec.
Yeah.
He went to university.
Yeah.
I looked him up. I might be butchering his resume a little bit, but
Yeah, you really talked him down.
Yeah.
He was shit at rugby.
Dude. Literally, he wasn't great. He wasn't good. Like
Yeah.
he would play a little bit of league rugby.
Yeah.
And then he went to university.
Yeah.
And he kind of moved into coaching. And I think he was like, don't get me wrong, he was like like in the fitness
Like
department.
a sports physio or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that, like a fitness kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
he kind of moved around in the
like a
Canadian
personal
system.
trainer or something.
Yeah, and then he ends up as the head coach of the women.
Yeah.
Right, so even him, he's actually pretty impressive too.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's kind of like
punching above his weight.
What's his name? Jacques Nienaber.
Yeah.
Kind of like him. Kind of very similar story.
Just wasn't playing at the highest ever level.
And especially to be, like a born and bred Canadian, to like and come out of the Canadian system
Yeah.
to be as successful as he's been.
Yeah.
He does have access to like some of the best players in the world too.
No, but I think you're right, man. Like he's doing the best he can with what he's got, and it's really working. Yeah.
I just really hope that because I like from what I read and saw about him, like he seems like he's on the ball. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I really hope that is like actually happening in the background too. Like the girls like really like him too.
I mean, you don't win with a bad culture. So
That's
you must,
true.
you really don't. Like people have got to like each other on the field. They really do. So no, I believe it. I want to segue to some men's rugby drama. I read a quote that said Andy Farrell can't motivate Ireland because he's not Irish. Discuss.
Well, that's kind of bullshit.
Okay, cool. We don't have to dwell on that.
There's really nothing like whoever said that. Like,
Do you know what's funny? As I said it, I was like, "You have no idea who said this. You're gonna this conversation's going nowhere. You better shut the fuck up."
I was like,
Yeah. So, but on,
some guy on Reddit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it wasn't like a quote, but with no attributed name in one of those like Facebook clickbait rugby things.
Yeah, like if you like, okay, like if you like looked at his resume, he's pretty
Good.
motivational.
He's pretty motivated. They beat the All Blacks twice.
Yeah,
Like, he's doing all right.
inside New Zealand. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
be too worried about
No,
fucking.
Never mind. Let's talk about Damien De Allende stoking the flames for Ireland going to South Africa by saying that Ireland aren't respecting them. You tell me what you think first, because I can't wait. It's like a buffet of rugby news.
The Box is scared.
Do you think so?
I think they're trying to build something up for themselves.
Yeah.
This sounds like something they're really like trying to like put in their own heads.
Yeah.
They hate us.
Yeah.
They we're getting revenge. They don't respect us. Like it's kind of like the shit that they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're really trying to like build up a narrative in their head.
Yeah.
So when Ireland gets down there,
They're all just ready for a proper scrap.
yeah,
Like,
and Ireland's just picking their nose. Like
yeah, Ireland's like, we like you guys. You're fine. And then they're like, no, fuck you.
they're not afraid. Like Ireland's coming down there. This is like probably one of the most dangerous teams that are ever like besides New Zealand that are ever coming down to South Africa from the Northern Hemisphere to play them ever. Besides New Zealand,
But they're not coming down, are they? The North-South Hemisphere debate is really stoked because of this, which is great. It's great for world
because this
rugby.
is like there's a lot of weight on these teams because these are like.
Put it this way, this feels more threatening to South Africa than the Lions tour did. I feel like Ireland have a better chance of beating the Springboks at home than the Lions did. And I think that's saying something.
Yeah, and I think there's and the drama behind it because, are Ireland the best rugby team in the world?
No.
Why are people saying that? Why like the Springboks feel like no one's giving them the respect they deserve? They just won 2 World Cups in a row.
Yeah.
And they're like forever bitching about how no one respects them.
That's my favorite thing. I love talking about this. How South Africa always have this huge chip on their shoulders. Nobody respects us. We always have to prove a point. It's like, you are back-to-back World Cup champions. Everyone respects you. Calm your tits, right? But I know exactly what they're doing. Razzie has told the boys, we have got to act like they have kicked our dog in the face, right? Because South Africa loves siege mentality. They love bleeding for their country, right? Rugby means so fucking much to them. And I love that, but they do exaggerate the narrative a lot to give themselves an edge. It's like they're like teeing themselves up, right? Like, did you hear what Johnny Sexton said about your mother yesterday? He's like, that didn't happen.
Didn't Gatlin used to do that with the Welsh team too?
He still
they're
does
training
it.
harder than you. They're laughing at you guys.
Yeah. He put like newspaper clippings up on the wall of like England private schoolboys say this about dirty Welsh poor people, and all the Welsh boys are like, fucking undertaking that. Like,
it's all mental warfare.
Totally. Yeah. It's all. It's part of the game, though. I love it.
I love every second about it.
And the Irish media have done the Irish team no favors at all, because they're the most arrogant bastards sometimes, aren't they? Like, the media. I mean, the media. I
feel like this series is like, to me, this is the crowning of rugby right now.
Well, it's the two best teams.
It's the two best teams.
Yeah.
The two best teams going at it.
Yeah.
The world champions, the team that beat the world champions in the championship,
but then choked
tournament, and then choked. These are the two best teams. Because if you look at all the other tours, there's nothing like the only tour that has a lot of weight on it too, besides the Ireland Springboks one. What I would say would be Wales, Australia,
the bargain bin teams,
because these are two teams that have a lot to prove.
We have a lot to lose, both of us, because our reputations could suffer. We are both, Australia and Wales, in a position where we are in danger of losing pride in our own jersey. But both our nations. I would say it's even heavier because the Wallabies have the whole country's interest on the line. They do. Like, Welsh people are going to watch Welsh rugby. Yes. They've watched Welsh rugby when they were even worse. We've gone through decades of shite. Yeah. And the Wallabies fans, like, they have the spines of earthworms. Yeah. So they would go to league in a heartbeat, wouldn't they? Yeah. So as soon as they're like, oh, this is game, they're not winning, and then let's turn away. So the Wallabies have the whole nation's interest in rugby union on their shoulders. That's kind of what I'm getting at, because I do think some of the Welsh losses to England, Faye Waboso is like the kind of, what would you call it, the biggest example. We're in danger of losing pride in our jersey, where players are going to look at their career rather than, I want to play for Wales because we're a class rugby nation. Mm-hmm. But, it's not the end of the world. Like, you're right, we're never going to lose our rugby culture completely. Mm-hmm. But you're also right saying, if Australia lose this, they could lose 10,000 fans to rugby league forever, and that could genuinely kill their game of union in the country, right? And it's they have the shoulders of rugby union. They have the future Sexton of rugby shoulders. Union on their shoulders. Yeah. And right now, the only shoulders they have are Johnny Sexton shoulders. Yeah. And that's not much. It's like a mountain. No. Like the peak is like, it's like a little rounded hill. Yeah. That's all they got. So, they have a lot riding on this. Yeah. So, that's the other one. And then, the New Zealand-England series, there's, really nothing but pride kind of working on it. That's weirdly the one I'm most excited for, because, there's no... It's just a fun one for me. I would love it if England got a win, and I would love it if New Zealand trounced England, because that'd be funny. I just don't think England have the grind to go down to South Africa to get a job done. No, I agree. They've got one-off games in them, and it's not beating New Zealand in New Zealand. They just don't have this grind that they need to go down there and do a job. They don't feel cohesive either. No. In the Six Nations, when they beat Ireland, it did feel like a one-off performance. It was like all our emotion has gone into this, whereas the world-class teams can do that week on week, right? They can have that emotional intensity every week. And I don't think England are a unit yet. Finding Ben Earl as an attacking threat was class. And Steve Borthwick has won me over a bit. Mm-hmm. I thought he was this really boring, one-dimensional guy, but he really gives a shit about his players. That much is evident, and I think he's really trying to build a culture where he listens to people. His selection's a bit iffy, but he knows what he's doing. The thing I think that's going to be the best thing for them is it's Felix Jones that went over there for their defense coach. Their defense does look amazing. Yeah, so their defense system wasn't perfect in the Six Nations, but it was getting as the tournament went on, their defense was getting better and better and better and better. Yeah, it was. So, and New Zealand struggles with that rush defense with the super blitz. That's how England beat them in a couple World Cups ago, isn't it? They struggle with that kind of upfront, get in their face defense, because they don't play it down there. They don't play during Super Rugby. They don't play any defense. They don't like getting smothered, though, do they? No, they don't like that, and it's kind of a culture shock to them, because they when you watch them play the Super Rugby teams, they usually play a lot of this drift or soak defense bullshit. Yeah. Right, so they're not used to that blitz defense type shit. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves though, because do you really think New Zealand with Razor and all the other coaching team they've assembled aren't talking about just that right now. Like, they know that. They know that, and they're preparing for it in a million different ways, and they're preparing as hard as they can. They're doing little tiny press-ups every day. Like,
man, they surprised me before by, like, you think they would have shit like that covered, and they didn't.
But equally, I've heard people talk them down, and they just show up and kick ass. So,
well, they are like the best. They are really, really
consistently
like,
the best team
beyond like any record or anything. Like, they are the best team and like they are the best rugby nation.
They're not a team that dips in form much either. Like,
no.
Ireland, South Africa can dip in form.
Yeah.
Like, New Zealand never have a bad game, do they? They never lose. They never get hammered.
Like, New Zealand's like never had. Yeah, you're right. Like, they've never really actually had a bad year.
No.
They've had years where they lost a bunch of games.
By their own standards.
The year that they lost to Ireland at home, I think they only lost 5 test matches.
Yeah.
Right? That whole year.
Yeah.
And
most people can only
that
dream
was
of that.
like the country almost like imploded.
Yeah.
Right? I think they had like an 80 or 75% win rate, well above everyone else besides Ireland that year.
Yeah.
Right? But like that's like the lowest they get.
Totally.
Every other nation's had like 50% win rate, 40, 30, even the box.
Yeah.
Right? They've never had that.
Nope.
They've never even been close.
Totally agree.
So I would that series, like, for me, that's the one that's kind of the least it's not the least exciting. I still don't watch that series.
Yeah.
But it has the least riding on it.
I think I'm saying I'm excited to watch it because I'm having a bit of, this is a confession, I'm having a bit of like an emotional rugby hangover recently. Like, Wales have been so shit for so long. Cardiff had I've just been sick of pouring emotion into games and coming away feeling like shit. Because a game of sports will ruin my week sometimes.
So you're excited to cheer for England?
No, I'm excited.
That's what it sounded like.
I'm excited to watch exciting high-level rugby that I just do not have to emotionally invest in. If either team win, fucking brilliant. Show me some good rugby. Ireland and South Africa, similar, but there's a little bit of spice there, which I'm excited for. Wales, Australia, I'm nervous about it. I don't want to watch those games because if we get creamed by Australia, it's like, I just can't keep losing.
Let's just put this out there.
Yeah.
Who do you want to win between New Zealand and England?
I just told you I don't care, and
yes,
I love that.
Yes, you do. You always care about something.
No, I genuinely. I tell you what happened. Right, one of the closest I've come to cheering for England was the final between South Africa and England in the 2019 World Cup. Right, I was thinking I don't want South Africa to win this. I'll cheer for England. And for about 10 minutes, I was like, oh, yeah. And then just something clicked in me. I was like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Stop. And then I did.
Who do you want to win in Ireland, South Africa? Do you want the Irish media
that's a good question.
On top of a mountain saying, we're the best in the world ever?
Yeah, both would be kind of unbearable.
Or do you want the box fans?
Yeah, they're both kind of unbearable in the media.
You guys have never given us our credit.
Yeah, you didn't. Even when you left, you didn't respect us. We beat you and you still don't respect us.
Saying that if they destroy
They're
Ireland.
Chasing him onto the airplane, like, go home, stop disrespecting us. Like,
even after
if
they destroy them.
Yeah. Come back when you have more respect for us.
Yeah, that's what they would be doing.
I don't know. That's a weird one. Like, I hate this debate about who's the best team in the world. It shouldn't be decided by a summer series. It should be decided by a World Cup every 4 years.
People get really annoyed by box fans. I fucking love Springboks fans.
I love both set of fans in their own way because they're kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially the Springboks. Some of the Springboks fans are hysterical.
Yeah.
In all the wrong ways.
Yeah, in all the wrong ways.
Yeah.
I think Irish fans get a bad shtick because the media is so
Most
fucking
of the
bad.
lads, though, are every Irish guy I chat to.
They're just out for a piss up. They love Ireland.
Yeah.
They
exactly,
love, they're great.
But some of the online, specifically South African, they are just deluded and hilarious.
Yeah, they're great.
And they think everyone hates them. It's like, no, we like you. Relax. We play good rugby. Like,
yeah, you guys are the best.
Yeah, we know you are. Like, no one's coming for you. But I don't know who I want to win that. Who I'd be cheering for. I don't know. I'm just happy to sort of see a bit of drama, see a bit of class rugby, I genuinely...
We're coming up right away here. I think in 2 weeks.
Yes, that's right. It's June.
2 weeks. I think June 21st. Like South
birthday.
South Africa plays Wales.
That's right.
Is that on your birthday?
It is on my birthday. Yeah. It's going to be on at silly times, though.
England's going to Japan.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be...
It's a good day.
It's coming up.
It never stops. Rugby doesn't stop.
I love it.
I know.
I just want it all out.
Yeah.
I want it.
But
all
last thing I want to say today is boo the Qatar Nations Cup. Boo,
yeah,
boo, boo.
it's kind of shitty.
I hate it. It's awful.
I hate it too.
Like, have a World Cup and stop going to places where they use slave labor to, do stadiums. Go away.
I got some tips online about this too.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I just hate all this. It's gross.
Yeah, I got into the comment sections.
Oh, you went deep
I
in?
always try to avoid comment sections on things.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I'm going in.
I'm like, and I get in there, and then I'm all of a sudden I'm like 12 comments deep, just arguing with people.
6 pints in, like, shit.
I just I don't like that when you're doing some kind of globally celebrated kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like countries that have like bad human rights records
Yeah.
shouldn't
Shouldn't be allowed in the party, should they?
they shouldn't be allowed in the party.
No, I agree.
Right now, like, I know some people actually called me out to. They're like, "Well, what about this in your country?"
Oh,
Blah, blah,
totally.
blah.
Yeah,
right?
there's hypocrisy
and they're kind
there,
of
isn't
true.
there? Yeah.
There is some hypocrisy with
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah, there is.
Like the problem with like Qatar is they just do it out in the open. They don't give a fuck, right? And I think we kind of think we're better because we do it in back doors.
Yeah.
Like we do like some dirty shit like back behind closed doors.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's just unfortunate. Money talks.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
800 million, was it 800 million pounds?
I don't know what the currency
Or
was.
euros
It's a
or
lot
whatever,
of
or $1 million.
fucking money, innit? It's a lot of bloody
Like
money.
almost $1 billion, whatever, or $1 billion
Yeah.
to host these games.
And
Like,
it'd be boiling as well, though. And they're acting like, I saw someone say it's going to be like the Super Bowl for rugby. Keep the Super Bowl away from rugby. I don't want a halftime show with Justin Timberlake in rugby. Just go away. Have a bloody pint in halftime. I'm going to
well,
the
you
bar.
can't. It's in Qatar.
If I'm watching it on telly, I mean.
Yeah,
But yeah,
you won't be
also
able
you
to.
can't have a pint in Qatar, I guess, which is
Yeah.
anyway. Like, so yeah, like when people are saying it's like the Super Bowl of rugby, it's like we have a Super Bowl of rugby. We literally have a World Cup, or all the best teams in the world. Like the Super Bowl is child's play compared to the Rugby World Cup. We have our pinnacle. Like, go away. We've got a Lions tour. I don't want either of those things being devalued by this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I won't say anything more about that because I obviously get a bit political with it, but.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of talk about that and not get sucked into some
It is, isn't it?
some bullshit.
Yeah.
So let's make some predictions for the URC.
All right.
Let's get these games up here. Where the fuck is this thing? So I just pull this stuff up here because I actually wasn't ready.
That's okay. I can tell you if you want.
Do you have it? Do you have it open?
Got it here, right here.
Oh, why didn't you say something? I'm fucking
Well,
scrambling
I
over
literally
here.
just did. So it's 8 a.m. for us
For us.
in Loftus Versfeld, Bulls v Leinster. Next Saturday, the 15th of June. What do you think about that?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Leinster are in a bad situation here.
You cannot play at altitude. No one can play at altitude. Only South
Can't
Africans.
play it all of this in the
No,
altitude.
at Versfeld. No one can do it. Only
I
South Africans.
these guys, Leinster are in trouble here.
Really?
I think Bulls could easily win this game, especially at home.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, could happen. It's going to be close.
I'm going to call it Bulls.
Oh my God. He's
I
gone and
think
done it.
Bulls are going to win.
He's gone and done it.
Yep.
I didn't think you'd do that.
And Leinster are going to get mocked. And because they were sitting at top of the URC,
And
they could have stayed at the top of the URC.
should be investigated for sending a C team to South Africa.
Yeah,
potentially.
and they might even send a C team here just because they want us
to double down.
Yeah, they're gonna send a C team
Yeah,
down
we
to the
only
Bulls.
care about the Champions Cup.
Yeah, we need to because they'll be like, well, we got to save our players for the final of the URC. We'll send these guys.
Yeah,
we'll send a B team.
seriously. Yeah.
Leinster have a fucking game they got to play here, and
And I think they've got a bit of a 10 conundrum all of a sudden. Leinster.
Yeah, they haven't really found that.
Considering the amount of 10s they got on the books were very good, it's weird that they have a dilemma here.
They'll go with Rossburn again.
Yeah, they will.
They'll go with
No
Rossburn
doubt.
again.
Yeah. They'll have Frawley on the bench.
You could debate if he should be him or not, but if you're looking at who they have and the experience that he has and how good he is, he's not the greatest, and he's got a lot of shtick for the last few weeks because he's not the greatest.
Yeah.
But they'll go with Rossburn again.
Yeah.
The Bulls are a tough team.
Yeah.
They're a big, tough team.
Yeah. And as much as I take the piss, playing in South Africa does make a big difference.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's gonna be, and it's gonna be June. No wait, they're in the southern hemisphere, so they're actually going into winter right now.
Yeah.
So, but it's gonna be tough for Leinster. I think Leinster are gonna lose this game.
It's weird for me because you can't play Frawley at fullback because Hugo Keenan's so goddamn good. So I think you might be right. I'm going Bulls as well. Convince me.
Yeah, I think that Bulls are gonna win this game.
Fair enough. All right, we'll see.
And Munster versus Glasgow. I think Glasgow have gotten far enough.
In Thomond Park. That's the thing for me. It would be hard to call if it was a neutral venue. I think because it's in Ireland, I think Munster are going to win. I think Glasgow will really struggle with Munster's game management. I think Munster really know how to play in the right areas of the field and use their physicality to keep you pinned. And I think it'll be close, but yeah, Munster will edge it.
They're going to, I think Glasgow have gotten, I think as a team that, in the belief that I've had in them, I think they've overachieved.
We are horrible to Glasgow, aren't we?
We are.
We have no hope in them whatsoever. Yeah, it's like you don't even deserve to be in the playoffs.
Just to be clear, it's completely undeserved.
It is. They've been literally the best team at times in the league.
And they've always been proving us wrong.
Yeah, but except the Champions Cup, we did call them dropping out after losing to who did they lose to? Harlequins.
Munster just keep getting better.
They do. I can't see. I can be close, and if it had been a neutral venue, it'd been hard to call. But yeah, because it's an island, Munster. So we're talking about a Bulls Munster final, are we? The Stag versus the Bull.
How does that work? Do they have like a neutral venue final? Or?
Yeah, the final will be in a predetermined venue, yeah. I don't know where it is, mind.
Because I don't know if it's going to be...
Let me see if it'll tell me.
I don't think it's... I didn't see anything. Or does it go back to... Because Munster finished first in the league.
Maybe they do get a home final then.
Well,
maybe
it's only final.
Maybe it's the Champions Cup that gets a...
I don't know. We should know that. Since
we should, actually. I feel like an idiot. I said it with such confidence.
I shouldn't have asked that question.
You've made us look like absolute pillocks. Fuck's sake, Steve. Just before we finish, I'm Googling URC Final 2024.
And then you're coming up with...
And then it's going to say... URC...
We need
Shit. I'm totally unprepared.
We need a fucking...
End the podcast. Pull the plug.
I just fucking cut it off.
That's it.
Mid-sentence.
Yeah, anyway, I'm done talking to you.
All right. Well, I'm going to close this down then.
Yeah, I think so. That was embarrassing. We'll let you know.
Embarrassed or
fan.
You can find us on Twitter.
If you really want to.
Yeah, if you really want to.
I wouldn't
recommend it.
No.
You can find us on YouTube at the Friends of Rugby Podcast.
I don't even have a video.
We have a bunch of stuff on there.
No, I'm joking.
You could email us at thefriendsofrugbypod@gmail.com.
Looking forward to an email from Levi69 Blaze It.
And you could mail Frank at Edmonton, Alberta at 44. So
doxing me.
Friends, well, Frank, welcome back to the pod.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for abandoning us.
You're welcome. I come back with knowledge.
Yeah, there we go. All right, friends. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.